Hello, Coach Holmes here, and today we'll be talking about finding area of both rhombus and kites as well as a regular polygon. So we're going to be able to find both area. Okay, so an area of a rhombus or a kite you may not be able to done before, but it's a pretty simple idea. The area is simply 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So basically, I'm looking for my diagonal lines. So for example, this in purple could be diagonal 1. And if I color this diagonal line in red, that's my second. So I'm looking for 2 of my diagonal lines. Now, so that's one way to look at it. And really for a kite, it's the same thing. 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So from here to here could be diagonal 1, and from up and down it could be diagonal 2. So we could see it like this, probably more likely, but again, it's the diagonal lines, both diagonal lines multiplied and then divided by 2. That's how we're going to be able to find area of both a rhombus and a kite. So let's look at this example right here. So let's say this is diagonal 1, this is diagonal 2. In order to find that area, remember 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So that means I'm doing 1/2 times 6 times 12. Well, 6 times 12, I know that to be 72. And 1/2 of 72 gives me 36. Okay? So the area of this rhombus right here is 36. Now, what about this kite though? Well, it's the same process, just a different shape. So again, let's say this is diagonal 1, diagonal 2. Okay? Now, if I'm finding the area, remember, it's 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So 1/2 of diagonal 1 is 9. 1/2 of diagonal 2 is 12. Same idea. So I multiply 9 and 12 to get 108. I divide 108 by 2, I get 54. So that's how I find the area of that kite. So really the area of both a rhombus and a kite are basically the same thing. They're the same formula. We just gotta be able to find the diagonal of those figures. Now, what about a regular polygon, okay? Remember, this only works for regular polygons, okay? And what is a regular polygon? Is where all the sides are the same length and all the angles are the same length, okay? So that's an important thing to keep in mind, because to find area, it's 1/2 of the apotha times the perimeter. What's apotha again? Or apotha, I mean. Not apotha. Apothum. Now that I see the words, I know what it is now. Apothum. What is apothum? Well, it's basically, you can kind of look at it like the radius of a circle, or radius of a, kind of look at it like a radius of a regular polygon. So if I start at the center here, and I go to a side that is perpendicular to that side, I have my apothum, okay? So it's from the center to the side where it's perpendicular. That's the biggest key. Okay, so if we write this out, center to side, that's perpendicular. Okay, that's the biggest key right here. It's the center to the side that's perpendicular. All right. Now, as long as it is perpendicular, okay, that's important. Now, P is just simply our perimeter. And we know perimeter as in add up all the lengths, add them up, just add all the lengths together, okay? So however many lengths you have, or whatever the lengths are, you just add them up. That's what perimeter is. But since it's a regular polygon, I just have to add a number so many times. Okay, so for example, if I look at this octagon real quick, remember my perimeter is 8. Well, one of my lengths is 8. But there's 8 of them. So 8 times 8 gives me 64, because I know that there's all these are 8s. All of them are 8s. So I just add them all up, and I get 64. Now, that's my perimeter, though. In order to find area, it's 1/2 times the apothegm times the perimeter. Now, we know the apothegm is 10 because from here down, it's a length of 10 times 64. All right. Now, so if I multiply these two out, I get 640, and half of that is 320. So the area of this irregular polygon is 320. That's what's going to be my area. All right. So that's a very important thing. That's a very important thing to keep in mind, because this right here, this formula is going to help us to find an area of a regular polygon. Now I can do the same thing for a square as long as I know what my apothegm is, which my apothegm has to be the square root of 3. Seems kind of tricky, but then again, we got our apothegm. Now, remember, all this are 6s, so if I add 3 6 together, I get 18, and that's going to be my perimeter. So my perimeter is 18, my apothegm is square root of 3. So I multiply those out. So really, I can just go ahead and divide. Let me do it this way. 18 times the square root of 3, I can just leave it like that. Divide the 18 by 2, and I get 9 square root of 3. And that's going to give me my area. So the biggest thing we got to keep in mind is that when it comes to kites and rhombus, it's the diagonal lines multiplied, then divide by 2. Now for a regular polygon, and again, the big key is that all the lengths are the same. So for a regular polygon, we got to find our perimeter, know what the apothegm is, multiply them, then divide by 2. And that will give us the area of a regular polygon. Thank you, and have a good day.